November 6th, American voters will go to the polls to choose the next leader of the free world. This morning we will witness the last presidential debate before the 2012 presidential election. Today's debate is being held at Marion County High School, a hotbed of political unrest. I'm Jacob Burdett, and I will be the moderator for today's debate. The format for this debate will be down and dirty, old school, in your face, no punches pulled, may the best man win style. Each candidate will be allotted a 2-minute time slot for each question, and an appropriate 2-minute response, followed by a free discussion. The candidates will do their best to remain on topic and keep in check with their allotted time. Please join me in welcoming our presidential candidates, President Barack Obama and Governor Mitt Romney. Governor Romney, you won the coin toss. The first question I will pose is dealing with foreign policy. Currently there is a serious rivalry between Marion and Washington County high schools. The conflict seems to revolve around sports. As President of the United States, what measure will you take to ensure the peace process between these two conflicting counties?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say thank you for hosting this debate. And I know I speak for myself and my wife Ann when I say that it's a pleasure to be here at Marion County High School. The first question deals with foreign policy and our relationship with Washington County. And I believe it's very important at this stage in the debate to understand that we must maintain our strength as a school. We must work together here in Lebanon, as well as in neighboring areas such as Raywick and Bradfordsville, to be as strong of an organization, of a community as possible. And with that, I believe that our relationship with other neighboring communities will be strong. I have experience in this area. Of course, I worked at the Olympics, and I was governor of Massachusetts at one time. Both things that the incumbent President Obama is not able to discuss. And that concludes my response.
Jacob, everything the governor said, well, it's just not true. We have a strong relationship. We will continue to build those strong relationships. And Governor, during your time in Massachusetts, you did not have that type of strong relationships with the other states in the Northeast.
That is not true. That is not true.
You seem to have an issue remembering your past. We've named that Romnesia. You want to take from those who are less fortunate. We call that Romneyhood. And now you have a lack of understanding of the problems in the world, an unrealistic viewpoint, and I've nicknamed that Rom Quixote.
Well, let me just first say that all of these nicknames that you've given me, and then we'll
They're very fitting.
We'll move on to the next question. But all of these nicknames are very unprofessional. They're very inappropriate for a presidential campaign, and I feel like before the next debate or before the votes take place, I'll come up with my own nicknames for you.
I'll check the transcript.
You go ahead and check the transcript. The transcript says what the transcript says. The transcript says what the transcript says.
Settle down, gentlemen. Calm down. This question deals with the current economic situation of the world. For the last 4 years, the world economy has been experiencing very little growth and has entered a recession. How has our current policy of no gum and MCHS impacted the world economic situation?
You see, Jacob, the problem with gum is it's massive. It gets on your desk. It's almost impossible to get out of your hair. My administration wants to invest in clean candy technologies, type of resealable, state-of-the-art confections that will take us into the future. Now, some of us are lucky. Like you and me, Mr. Romney, we have a little bit more candy. So what we're going to ask is that top 2% share a little bit more of that candy with the student body. You've got that big bag of Skittles, M&Ms. You probably purchased a king-size Snickers bar this morning. They come in 2 halves. you can afford, but some of the others, less fortunate, have half that Snickers bar.
I think President Obama has in terms of his time limit, I think it is now my turn to speak. And the issue with what the President has said, with all due respect, Mr. President, you've had 4 years to correct the problem, and we still are seeing some areas where we can improve. And as your future President, I know from my stint as governor, as well as working with the Olympics, that the true issue is not gum. In fact, with many of the things President Obama has mentioned, I would like to create jobs. And I would do that by hiring additional staff to clean up the gum and to clean up the mess that gum leaves. I also feel like it is very important to work with our neighbors on this issue. And that's why I've proposed drilling a gum pipeline from neighboring communities and have that pipeline extend into our county. I'm sure you would agree that more jobs would be provided. I'm sure that the American people would agree that these jobs are necessary. We're experiencing astronomical unemployment, and to take away people's gum is simply not fair and not what we need in this country.
These are the same failed gum policies that have gotten us into this rather sticky situation.
Bush did not have a gum policy.
Gentlemen, you must stay on topic. The third question deals with a very pressing social issue that is weighing heavily on the minds of all Americans. As we know, there are several single male teachers at MCHS that do not have girlfriends. If elected president, what will you do to rectify this situation? What policies will you implement to ensure that all male teachers have equal access to some type of social life, no matter how pathetic it may be?
Jacob, to get to that third question.
No, wait a minute, moderator. Just wait a second. He got the last question, the first question in the last round. I think it's my turn to answer first in this round.
Go ahead, Governor.
I think that's only fair. Well, in response to the question, and this is a very difficult issue for many male teachers, and I've consulted with, which is always a good idea, something I wish you would do more, consult with the American people. And I consulted with a fellow teacher, David Hibbard, on this issue, and from Mr. Hibbard, I now have some binders, what I call binders of women. There's binder 1, here is binder 2, and here is binder number 3. Now, if we can't find a decent woman in these binders, then I don't believe that as male teachers that we are deserving of a better social life and a better social situation. So, like I said, these are chock full of different women, and they contain descriptions. I have a 5-point plan, and all of them, each point is a different woman.
Governor, you sure you didn't get those binders from your colleague Herman Cain?
I'm certain that they came from David Hibbard.
Well, I view this as a bipartisan issue, and I'm reminded of a conversation I had with a gentleman I met down in the 3rd hallway, James Followell, who has dramatically different political views than I do. That's beyond the point. See, Mr. Followell has found that love and happiness that, based on the looks of it, you wouldn't think he'd be able to find. My administration is going to give everyone that same kind of hope for change in a lasting relationship. A relationship that lasts longer than 4 years, Governor. Close to 8.
The American people, I encourage you to look at his binders versus my binders.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've been told by the Secret Service that we have to end this debate immediately. Governor Romney had to abruptly leave the premise due to some complaints from PETA about his dog being strapped to the top of his car. Ladies and gentlemen of Marion County High School, the fate of our world, our nation, and our school is in your hands. Remember, when the polls open on November 6th, many teachers, who shall remain nameless, are counting on you to make their social lives just a little bit better.